Bonjour la famille.
Tu l'as vu, moi, tu bouges ton train au passage de la carte. Ça se passe comme ça. La pérambole, voilà le seul unique téléphone officiel du Tour de France.
Salut mon petit.
C'est magnifique. C'est quoi ce spectacle? Votre prénom c'est comment? Avec Sylvie. On va se concerter, oui. Sylvie, avec Sylvie, vous êtes les maillots.
La douceur et la bonne humeur, mais bon, pas l'âge comme on terrasse sur la route du Tour, c'est ça. C'est bon, c'est chaud. Toujours plus haut, toujours plus fort. La terrasse panache, elle arrive, elle est là, panachée, le classique.
Oui, madame. Oui, monsieur. Alors, attention, c'est parti.
Now, there is today's breakaway. 5 men in it. Michael Delage of Française de Jeu, who was out front yesterday and has been out front regularly. Nicky Terpstra of Quick Step is also in there. Anthony Delaplace, who we've seen out front several times, of Sour Sojasun. Samuel Dumoulin of Cofidis, so a strong French contingent. And Mikhail Ignatiev of the Katusha team, who otherwise has been almost invisible in this race. They have a gap that's up over 3 minutes at the moment, but trust us, it will not stay that way. Today is nailed on for a bunch finish. Let's get out on the road and join commentary with Phil and Paul.
Well, at the moment, the stage is looking pretty routine. Early morning breakaway, although they started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 5 riders going clear after 2 kilometres. We're now 99 kilometres from the finish, but they haven't let them go, Paul. They're riding very fast in that peloton, limiting the attack to 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think the reason is, Phil, that the sprinters realise it's the last chance until they get to Paris and the Champs-Élysées that they've got a chance of getting themselves a stage victory. It's extremely important today for Mark Cavendish to try and get some more points in that competition, because over the next few days, as we take our little incursion into the Alps, he will have a hard time getting any points at all. Just quickly noticed there, that was the windmill of the rock that we just went past, just waving by as the riders start the descent. And if you're into geology, by the way, there's a lot of limestone outcropping in this part of the world. And
that windmill actually sits on the limestone cliff here, restored fully in the year 2000. As you can see, it was in pretty good working order. Now we're coming off the top of the limestone rocks at the moment as the peloton's descending now down into the town of Sant Chinian. The breakaway's just gone through. There is an enormous crowd waiting for the Tour today as they pass through this town. and the peloton itself is holding on to that lead, which is now out to just over 3 minutes. Now, a familiar sight at the front, HTC High Road, the team of the green jersey of the Tour de France, Mark Cavendish. Obviously, the order's gone out not to allow this breakaway out of reach. It is a difficult wind at times today. The race could split under the pressure, so they've got to be a little bit cautious in HTC High Road if they want to take Mark to the line. And we don't know, of course, how he's come through the Pyrenees, where, you know, he's a sprinter and he gets a bit of a battering in those high mountains. And today it might have blunted his legs a little bit, but I get the feeling, Paul, it won't be the case.
Well, I think Mark Cavendish is the kind of rider who knows exactly how to look after himself through the mountains. He's got a lot of teammates who are dedicated just to encouraging him over the mountain passes. But a little bit of psychological warfare going on, possibly, Phil.
Good, Cavendish! Good!
Between himself, Philippe Gilbert and Jose Joaquim Rojas. So those two riders accusing him of hanging on to the team car to get himself through the mountains. Cavendish's answer to that, well, I seem to be one of the most filmed and photographed riders in the peloton, so how do you think I'm going to get away with it? But the thing about a rider like him, Phil, he'll respond to that with a little bit of anger and try and show somebody a clean pair of wheels on the way to the finish.
Well, things inspire a sprinter to even greater heights. That was the Sky Pro Cycling team's Christian Knies, who's just dropped to the back there. And there's another one going back there as well. They have a white jersey to defend now on Team Sky after the Pyrenees ended yesterday. Rigoberto Urán, a new rider from Colombia, and a new youngster who has clearly a lot of climbing prowess, is now defending that young leader's white jersey.
Yeah, the Colombian rider Rigoberto Urán was brought into Team Sky basically to look after Bradley Wiggins in the high mountain passes. Wiggins, everybody felt, had a very good crack at the top 3 finish in the Tour de France this year, and why not a possible top step on the podium. Rigoberto Urán currently sits in 11th place overall. He is the best young rider in the Young Riders competition. He's 7 minutes and 55 seconds down on Thomas Voeckler. Just looking down here, we've just gone through the small town of Sant Chinian. And Sant Chinian is one of the largest appellations of the Languedoc wine. It produces 130,000 hectolitres of wine during each year, and the majority of that is actually red wine, a very dry red wine, 89% red wine, 10% rosé and 1% white. Classified as an appellation collective in 1982. 3,300 hectares of wine are actually cultivated in this area.
Well, that should keep Paul showing it instead for the rest of the Tour de France. 2 minutes and 53 seconds is the gap. Now, this tactic seems a little bit strange to me, Paul. They seem to be interested in bringing it back to heel quicker than normal. Well,
I'll tell you why. It's because at 46 kilometres to go, there's the sprint point. I know it's about an hour to go to the finish line, but as far as Mark Cavendish is concerned, these 2 sprint points, today's sprint point and then the final one on the finishing line, may well be the last sprint points that Mark Cavendish can get for a number of days. And he wants to try and build up possibly an unassailable lead over Philippe Gilbert, because Philippe Gilbert has moved up into 3rd place with his little moves through the mountains, and he's only 24 points behind Mark Cavendish at the start of the day.